What's going on, everybody? Let's take a deep dive into the Tesla chart and see what we can see. It's been downtrending for quite some time, but really that's really not the full case. But let's start here on the daily time frame. So as you see, Tesla is resting on this 180 support level that you see there on the bottom right. And right now we're currently channeling between 180 and 200-ish the last week or two. I'm looking for Tesla still to try to get up there to 200, possibly get rejected at the 200 level, and come back down and stay in this channel. Now, I will say this, there is a gap to fill. If you can see this gap, let's do this right quick. Gonna have a few lines on this chart, so forgive me for this, but see that line of just, oops, let's try it again. See this line I'm gonna put right here. See that line right there? Well, it didn't stay on, but you can see there is a gap, and that gap will get filled at some point on Tesla. It's really good at filling its gaps typically. So it could get above 200, get up to that gap fill around 210, and then come back down. We'll just have to see what happens, but the closest resistance is 200, and it's a pretty important resistance level. I'll show you why on a couple other charts. But we are consolidating here, and the last time you can see right through this period here from, let's just say, November 15th through roughly December 15th, we consolidated at this level between 230 and 250, all right? Much like we're doing here between 180 and 200. It broke out of that consolidation and ripped up, and then subsequently has fallen down since. So we will have to see what happens. We're expecting, at least I am, expecting some kind of dynamic move to come out of this consolidation period. Tesla doesn't typically consolidate very long before it rips, because Tesla is just a freight train. Whether it goes up or down, people pile in whichever way it's going. Now, I will say on a daily time frame, the EMAs are all coming down. They're all stacked downward in a bearish formation on the daily time frame. Let's pull out the weekly time frame, and then we're going to look at the monthly time frame, which will tell a totally different picture. Okay? So here in the weekly time frame, we're going to zoom out just a bit here, and you can see, like we've talked about before, that this 180 level is pretty important. And why do I think we're going to get rejected, at least initially, at the $200 price tag, is because this 200 period moving average that you see in purple, okay? This can act as support or resistance. So I think we're going to get up there. I think we're going to get rejected at the $200 level. You know, it's just my thoughts and speculation. And then I think we come back down. Maybe we come back down to the 180-ish level again. And maybe we just stay in this channel. We're going to go back to the daily time frame for a bit. And maybe we just stay in this channel for a little bit longer. We'll just have to see how it plays out, of course. But going back to the weekly time frame, and another reason I'm thinking that is we're going to go ahead and see if I can get this trend line drawn appropriately this time. A lot of downward pressure. Okay, now this trend line isn't to the penny, but it's just here for visual representation. There's a ton of downward pressure on Tesla the last 2 years. I think that's going to continue. It's going to need some kind of catalyst to really break out of this. So I think we get to the 200 level, tons of downward pressure, lots of shorts jumping on it. And if that does happen and we break the 180, we're headed back down to 150. I'm pretty confident about that. Now, I do want to show you something. We're going to pull up the monthly chart, okay? Now look at the EMAs. We're going to go ahead and clear some of these lines out, okay? Just to give you got a lot of lines drawn here. To give you a better perspective here. And if you're an investor, I think it's very important that we look at monthly charts. Okay, because you're in it for the long term, right? A daily chart really doesn't mean a ton. A weekly chart means a little more, but the monthly chart means a lot, particularly if you're a long-term investor. Tesla is really bullish on the long-term monthly chart. I know we've had this down period for the last 2 years, but honestly, all it did was come down here on a monthly time frame. Each candlestick represents a month, right? One more time. I am having a dickens of a time drawing these trend lines today for some reason. So as you can see right here, okay, I don't know if this will stick or not, but you can see right there that it just came down to the 100 period moving average on the monthly time frame and subsequently bounced from there. Will we come back down there and test that 100 period moving average again? It's possible. And if we do, that is a 150 price tag, which that really coincides well with weekly support at the 150 level, okay? And that level I'm talking about is right here, okay? This 150 level right there, okay, gave us a dynamic bounce off the 150 level. So if we go back to the monthly time frame, see where I drew this line here on the weekly time frame, right in there. Here we go. Where I just drew that line off the weekly time frame. That's going to coincide with the red line coming up, which is a 100 period moving average. So I think if we break 180 and stay below 180, that's where we're headed, is to 150. Tesla needs something to get it going, to break out of this 2-year downtrend. But as we pull back out, all the EMAs are stacked on top of one another on the monthly time frame. The 200 period moving average is racing up to 100. These are all good things for Tesla long term. We just need a catalyst, right, to make Tesla rip. So for me, I am still bullish on Tesla, even though we've had this 2-year downtrend that we see here on the weekly time frame, right? Even though we've had this massive downtrend, I'm still okay. I'm still okay in the long term for Tesla, but in the short term, I think we bounce off or hit resistance at the 200, and we just kind of middle around maybe in this channel for a little bit here, which I removed on my trend line so you can't see them, but between 180 and 200 here for a little bit. We will have to see what happens. So short term, I'm a little bearish on Tesla. Long term, I am bullish just because of the monthly chart looks amazing. This is Mike, Tactical Stock Scalper, out.